Hello, hello, hello again. New Year, Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome again. And you know how it is. Brand new year, brand new goals. So today we are here again to talk to you about um, 10 tips for couples to start the new year on the right financial foot.
Happy New Year, everyone. We're excited about this year, 2025. Today, what we are going to share with you are tips on how couples can start the year on a right financial foot. There's a saying that how you start something is going to determine how you end. So, how you start the year if you start the year on the right foot, it will determine how you end the year. There's a saying that says that failing to plan is planning to fail. So as couples, it's very important that every year you have an annual financial goals discussion. It's very crucial for maintaining a healthy financial relationship. So, or long-term success of your relationship. There's statistics that most divorces are because of financial incompatibility or financial disagreements. So, as couples, it's very important. The Word of God says that can two live together except they agree, or something along those lines, basically saying that it's very basically what it's trying to say is that two people have to agree. So it's very important that both partners, either the man and the woman or the man and the woman, are on the same page when it comes to financial goals, whether it's saving for a home, planning for vacation, or investing in retirement. One other important reason why it's important or it's crucial for couples to have a financial goal discussion every year is that it minimizes conflicts. So that way everybody is on the same page. It minimizes or reduces misunderstandings about financial decisions throughout the whole year. So for example, if one couple goes to buy a car, the beginning of the year, you've already had that financial discussion that we are going to get a car or we're going to get a new family car. So it's not a surprise. The other important thing or important reasons why couples need to have this financial discussion is that it encourages collaboration, right? So working together on a financial goal fosters a sense of partnership. And then most relationships are built on trust. Trust is the foundation of every relationship. So when you have these financial yearly discussions, it's it it creates trust in the relationship. So, without saying much, I will just delve into the first reason or the first tip, that is tip number one, which is that couples should practice open communication. Communication is very key. So, that's a saying that communication is 90% nonverbal and 10% verbal. So, the things that you are not saying, you are actually communicating. So if as a couple you're not having financial discussions, it's actually a form of communication and it's a negative form of communication. So it's very important that we have that open conversations, open dialogue. So for example, you share expectations. I gave the expectations or the goal about buying a car. So you have that discussion. Okay, this year we're going to upgrade the family car. So that way, or we're going to upgrade the husband's car or the wife's car. So that way you are all on the same page. The other thing in terms of communication is habits, right? And then priorities. So if one partner is the one that is spending all the time, it needs to be addressed. And the best time to address it is the beginning of the year. When it comes to communication, sometimes it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. So you need to be mindful of that. So one partner may have good intentions on initiating the financial discussion conversation, but the way you initiate that conversation is very important. Your approach should be non judgmental. It should be one of understanding and of collaboration. So I would hand over and then we can move on to the next
Yep.
tip.
Number two, we got to budget together. Track your income and expenses to create a realistic budget. Make sure both partners are involved in the process and agree on spending limits. You see, on paper, on papers, we got to be together. Everything is listed. You don't want to spend any money anyhow. So you put everything together. And like I said, budget always give you options. Budget give you options, and options give you what? Freedom. We're all seeking for freedom, financial freedom. So we need to make sure we are budgeting together. It shouldn't be, one way street. Like this is the budget for you. No, you guys sit down on papers, on paper, and you make the budget for the month every month. You see, the study shows that 96% of people that are financially successful started doing budget when they weren't. And even after they became successful financially, they're still doing it. So it tells you that budget is the key. The genesis of our finances is budgeting. So you put everything together on paper, every month. It doesn't matter what it is, every month. You guys should be sitting down together and doing the budgets. So we go to number 3.
So the next tip, I just remember the verse that I was trying to state. It says that can two walk together except they agree. So can two walk together in the marriage? Can you live, two of you live together in the marriage except you agree? So when it comes to financial decisions, it's very important that you are in agreement if you want your marriage to thrive. The tip number 2 is that prepare for life changes. We all expect that by the grace of God we'll live to be 120 years old and above, but life happens. So it's also very important that at the beginning of the year you have these discussions. Estate planning, create or update wills and trusts to protect your assets. As a couple, especially in the African community, talking about estate planning and about wills is a it's a forbidden topic, or it's a topic that it's not comfortable for most people, but it's essential. It's something that needs to be done. So the beginning of the year is a good time to update any wills and trusts, protect, make sure that all your assets are protected. Preparing, that's one thing, preparing for life changes. The other one, people get sick, people die. That's not anybody's portion, but it does happen. That is just part of life. So we have to be prepared for that, especially if there are children involved. Even if you don't want to do it for yourself, or it's an uncomfortable topic for you, you have to think about your children. You have to think about the people that will be left behind in your absence. The other thing in regards to children is the power of attorney, right? So assign rules for financial and medical decisions if needed. If both parents are not are expired, who is going to take care of the children? Medical decisions, if one partner becomes incapacitated, who is going to have that right? Especially if you are not married on paper, who is going to have that decision, right? You want to make things in place. You don't want your whoever's brother or sister or mother making those decisions. So it's very important that you assign roles for financial and medical decisions if needed. So that's the point number 2, is to prepare for life change.
Number 3, actually.
I'm sorry, point number 3, estate planning, and then making sure that you have a power of attorney. So we'll move on to point number 4.
4, build an emergency fund. See, we need an emergency fund. Our study shows that within a period of 10 years, there's gonna be something that will happen emergency financially. So we need to build an emergency fund. Aim to save at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses, and especially, um, let's say, depending on how you guys operate. Let's say if you guys you earn incomes, that means you work for somebody and you get paid. Sometimes you can go 3 months. Why? Because the probability of you guys losing your job together at the same time doesn't usually happen that way. So, but if one of you is getting 1099, then you go all the way out 6 months. You need that. So far as you have dependent, you need an emergency fund. You need an emergency fund too. And not even just that, even if you don't have dependent, you need an emergency fund because anything happens uh, whilst you're trying to get back on your feet from on finance or you're trying to do something, you go back again and start all over again. That's why you need emergency fund. Emergency fund is very, very important in our life. Other than that, all the time you'll be struggling. Remember, we did a budget. When you do a budget, you get a space, and that leftover you can start putting down as an emergency fund. And when you get to the 3 months of emergency fund or to 6 months, then you can start investing the rest. So we really, really need emergency fund. It's very important. Everyone needs emergency fund. If you don't have emergency fund, everything in your life, even $100 thing becomes an emergency. So we really have to make sure we are aiming to save at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses in an easy way. We can do that. So we move on to 5.
So point number 5 is regular financial check-ins. So for example, if you set a goal that within the first 6 months we're going to save, let's say $5,000 in the first 6 months, it's very vital that you set a date to review expenses, savings, and progress towards those goals, right? So every month you would sit down if that is the if you've decided between January and June, this is the amount that you want to save. For example, you meet in the month of February. If February you have $2,000, or for example, if February you have $500, and the goal is to get $5,000 by June, then you know that you need to set financial, you need to have these monthly check-ins to get a good idea or a good grasp of what you need to do between February and June to make sure that you get that $5,000. If you've only saved $500 within 2 months, that way you know that you have to cut back on certain things. You would have to reduce your expenses. So it's very important that you have these monthly check-ins to see how far you are in terms of reaching those financial goals. The other the other, sorry, just give me a few seconds. The other point is address challenges. So if there are issues of overspending or unexpected expenses arrive immediately, that is something too that you need to address. So if the goal is to save 5,000 within 6 months and one partner is not adhering to the rules, quote, lack of a better word, the rules and regulations, you need to address it. Like I said, open communication when you are addressing these issues. The tone, right, and the timing is something that you should also keep in mind. If there are any unexpected expenses, people get sick, you have to send money to people in need. When these unexpected expenses come that are outside of your budget, you don't have to overlook them, but you have to address them and find a solution on how you can sort of mitigate those expenses in order to reach your goals. And then the third point is celebrate wins, right? Acknowledge milestones to be motivated. If you've been able to save $1,000 1 month, which is something that you have not been able to do for a very long time, it's a good opportunity to acknowledge wins, acknowledge each other. Like I said, you are a team, right? So you cheer each other on, and then that also serves as a motivation. So we'll move over to point number 6, I believe.
Number 6, address debt strategically. You see, we have we have different ways, two effective ways of paying down debt is avalanche and debt snowball. I prefer debt snowball. Why? Because debt snowball, okay, so first of all, the avalanche is paying off debt starting from the highest interest rate. So if you have uh, 4 credit cards, you start paying the one with the highest interest rate first. So even if that is 100,000 and you have 5,000, 3,000, 2,000, you start with the if the 100,000 is the lowest um, interest on the credit interest, then you start paying that one first. The debt snowball is whereby you start paying with the lowest amount first. I like that one because they are both good, but I believe that debt snowball is very effective. Why? Because imagine you have 100,000 debt, you have 2,000 debt, you have 3,000 and 4,000, and start paying 100,000. It's going to take you forever. But when you start from the 2,000 and you say you're paying 500 a month, every like $500 a month, within a period of 4 months, you see the 2,000 is gone. Whilst you start, dropping some of them, paying off some of them, it energizes you to start going on to do the rest. But when you start paying and you're not, you're not done paying it, like 5 years, 6 years still paying it, it's so hard for you to continue doing it. So uh, the debt snowball is very effective. So that's what we're gonna do. And I say, as a couple, do not be hanging on to debt so much. You see, debt is a killer. And what we have to do is, we know so many of us are in debt. It has already happened. My suggestion is, don't even go into it, but it has already happened. Address them. Don't leave them just sitting like just there, and you're not taking care of it. Make sure you address your debt. Do not let it sit so long. Remember, people that are doing well financially, they usually get rid of their debt. Why? Because of the interest rate you keep on paying. You want, if you want to be successful, my Cuban said, stay away from debt. I know some people use debt as an advantage, but leveraging, when you go through or when you look at the numbers, people that are winning with money are not leveraging at all. When you sit back, you think people that are winning with money are leveraging, but that is not true. They usually get away from leveraging. You see, when you look at the way things are, from maybe $1 all the way to a million or $5 million, uh, I don't think you have to go through leveraging. But when after that, there are so many things you can do. It's so easy to stay away from that, to be able to get to that point, than going through or using leveraging to do, like, you think leveraging is going to help you. It's not going to help you at all. So let's make it a priority, pay off our debt, and stay out of debt. Number 7.
So this is my final point before I would give my final words after we reach the 10. The other point, number 7, is invest in education. So investing in your education is a form of savings on its own, right? So allocate money for courses, certifications, or degrees that can enhance your career skills. Sometimes just taking a certification or just getting an additional degree can increase your income margin significantly. So, as couples, it's very important that you invest in your education and then you support each other too, right? If one person decides that, hey, I'm going to take this certification, at the end of the day, course, it's for the whole family. So the other partner do not see it as a competition, because like I always say, it's teamwork. So you support that partner. If it means that you would have to pick up some additional tasks in the home when it comes to cooking or helping with the kids, you should all be on the same page, right? And then help each other as well. The other thing is growth for set aside growth funds. So you're saving for money. By the end of the day, it shouldn't be just, I can't remember what word that I'm looking for, but you should make room for your relationship as well, right? So it shouldn't be that you're saving for money to the extent that now you're denying yourself of um basic necessities of even spending time together, going out as a family, going to the movies, budget for hobbies, fitness programs, gym membership, wellness activities that enrich your life together is also very important. So, as you're focusing mentally on your personal development, right? There are 3 wins. You should always have a mental win, that is education, physical win, that is exercising, and then spiritual win, that is Christianity, your spiritual goals. So as you are investing in your financial wins, also invest in mental wins, right? Invest in physical wins, whether it's going to be going out as a family, whether it's gym membership, any activities that would enrich your life together as a couple or as a family. focus on that as well. And then I think I already mentioned this: encourage each other, support personal and professional development goals as they benefit the whole family or they benefit both couples or partners in the long run. So that's the seventh point that I have. I'll hand over for the eighth point.
The 8 point is align on the retirement goals. Yes, this is key. At the end, we are going to retire. So we need to make sure we are doing retirement. Financially, we have to make sure we have to invest for our future. We have to contribute. If we know, um, if we are not contributing to our future, it's time to start doing that. The best time for you to start investing financially was yesterday. The second best time is now. That means when you hear the story or when you hear from us today, if you have not started doing that, start doing it now. It's very imperative we all do this: invest in our future. You see, we shouldn't rely too much on social security. You see, even the government doesn't want you to do that. That is why he has given us so many ways, even tax defer account that you can invest in, like 401ks, Roth IRAs, and all that. That can help you because depending everything on Social Security is not a smart move. So we have to start doing that. You know, especially in our community, I've heard so many people being like, "Oh, I'm not doing my 401k, or I'm putting something for my retirement. Why? I'm going to retire in Ghana. Even if I retire and I get $1,000 for Social Security, I'm set." Yes, I know you are set because when you do the conversion, yes, but you don't know what is going to happen. You don't know whether your plan is going to go as ahead or it's going to go as you've planned. So make sure we have to invest for our future, and it has to be together. We have to do it together. You know, in for retirement, we have to make sure we are doing it together. I know it shouldn't be one way on the other side and the other person is on the other side. You see, when you are together doing things together financially, you are a force. You are a force. Nobody can bring you down. So make sure we have to make sure we are investing. And there are so many ways we can invest for our future, especially if you are working for some. Let's say if you are earning income, and they have so many different ways you can do that. Um, let's go to the number six, number nine. Are you going to talk about it, or you already talk about it?
I just spoke about it. Focus on personal development. So you can do 9 and 10, and I'll add my final
Okay, so I will
thoughts.
do the 10. So 10 is we have to, I think even this, you've talked about it, you've touched about it a little bit. Yes, sometimes what it is, financially things are going very tough. If you try, especially you have huge debt, you're bringing it down gradually. Celebrate on those things. Don't because we are trying to pay that doesn't mean we have to be so rigid. We are not doing that. Celebrate on the small success. And like she said earlier on, you have to make sure you encourage each other. You have to make sure don't just let yeah, I mean, make sure things are in order. And when you um, take care of something, celebrate it, and just move on to the next one. Okay, so I will leave it for you to do the closing.
So just some final thoughts or some final food for thought. As you couples, you set your as couples set financial goals is that set boundaries and expectations. So define discretionary spending limits, right? So agree on how much each person can spend without consulting each other. So we don't want a situation where a woman, you're going to buy earrings, oh, you have to pick up the phone and call your husband, can I buy earrings, or can I buy lotion. Those are little things that, to me, I feel like as a woman you should have autonomy. But if you're making big financial decisions, like I'm going to buy a house or I'm going to buy a second car, right? Those are things that we should discuss as a couple. So, in order not for there to be any gray areas, it's very important that you set boundaries and expectations on the things that one person can purchase or spend without consulting with the other partner. The second one, too, is that respect individual choices. So that's what I said. Allow room for personal financial autonomy within the framework. So, like a woman, if you're going to buy certain feminine products or stuff like that, that's not something I would expect you would call your husband to seek permission for. So just respect individual choices. And then the man too, if you check your receipts or bank statement and the woman has bought something, as trivial, this is not something that should be a point of contention, but it's all communication. There should be communicated things that each partner can buy without consent. If their husband is going to get a haircut, that's not something I would expect you would discuss with the wife or seek her approval for. And then if nobody's perfect, as you are, as you set these financial goals, mistakes would happen, mishaps would happen. When they do happen, my advice is that focus on solutions and not blame. So you should be solution oriented, not only in finances, but in every, as a couple, when there are disagreements or there are challenges, you know that you're a team, you are in this together. So it should be, decisions should be solutions oriented and not blame. So avoid criticizing the other partner. If a partner overspends or makes a mistake, focus on resolving the issue rather than assigning the blame. So instead of, oh, you spent this, or why did you spend this, the question should be, how can we resolve this so this does not happen again? The other way is stay calm. Like I said, it's not what you say, but how you say it. So approach financial disagreements with patience and understanding. If one partner makes an extravagant spending that got your temper rising, when that person comes into the door, this is not the point to just barge and then charge at the person, because it could dismantle your whole progress that you have made. If you have to step out, if you have to have some time to yourself to process, to breathe in and out, to calm yourself down, you do that. And then I already said that frame discussions positively. So instead of why did you do this, it should be, how can we solve this? And then finally, prioritize honesty. I have already mentioned that, okay? Inform each other before making significant financial decisions. Also, address concerns early. Speak about financial stress or issues before they escalate. So don't wait till it becomes a huge python. I address the baby snake becomes before it becomes a huge python. If you see a certain spending habit in one partner that can be detrimental to the goals that you both have set for the beginning of the year, it should be addressed immediately. And then the last point is that share aspirations. Talk openly about your dreams, your priorities, whether it's starting business early, whether it's investing in your education, retiring early, whatever it is. Share your aspirations. It motivates each other to make sure that you all work towards the common goal. So those are my final words. I hope that was helpful. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Um, so all that she was saying is put everything in the budget. If you put things in the budget, it's you making the budget. So you have to make it to work for you. Put everything in the budget. And if everything is in the budget, there won't be fights. You see, when you look at it, so many divorces in this country are caused by money fight. And if you, as a couple, if you want to go forward smoothly, you need to take control of your finances. So budget is very important. On the other note, on the Patrick Buffy YouTube channel, we do paradigm shift every Wednesday. If you want to be part of it, and also be get a live show, join the Patrick Buffy YouTube channel to be able to get a live show of it. There is where we show you how to live your life. Life is going to change dramatically. We talk about issues, personal issues that are changing people's life. Come listen to it, and it's going to help you turn your life around. Subscribe to the Patrick Buffy YouTube channel show to be able to get a live show of it. And this year is going to be a different year. We are going to increase in every aspect of our life. We are going to expand in wealth, we are going to be abundant, and also we are going to have financial freedom. Last year, we did so many things that like we went through different things like coming out of debt, uh, finding get making it placing emergency fund or putting emergency fund in place, and also we took control of our life. So this year is going to be more of investing, both here and in Ghana. We already got a seminar coming up. Let me see if I can get you. We got a seminar coming up for 12 of 12th of January. It's gonna be about how to do business in Ghana, farming business in Ghana. Let me see if I can share it with you. Um, yeah, so it's just $30. You can register, and you know you'll be part of this. It's gonna help you, if you really want to be part of this. So until we meet again, make sure you spend wisely, save intentionally, and be generous. But go there and register for how to do business or how to do farming business in Ghana. It's a seminar coming up and it's going to be online. All right. See you guys later. Bye bye.